Introduction and History. Bloodstain pattern analysis, or BPA, is the interpretation of bloodstains at crime scenes in order to recreate actions that caused the bloodshed. This field in forensic science became very much recognized during the late 19th century. Blood, being the most frequently encountered physical evidences in a variety of crime scenes, has raised awareness as to what could be interpreted from it. A bloodstain is a mark or discoloration on a fabric, fiber, or on a surface caused by blood. Why bloodstain patterns matter? The splatter direction helps determine the position of the victim and assailant. It reveals the type of weapon used. It also indicates the number of blows or shots that were delivered to the victim. Blood behaves according to certain scientific principles. Hence, trained analysts can examine the blood left behind and draw conclusions as to how the bloodshed occurred. An analyst can categorize the blood stains, which can assist the analyst to recreate events before and after the bloodshed. Analysts can recognize the shape, size, distribution, and location of bloodstains to form opinions about what happened and what had not happened. BPA uses the principles of biology, physics, and mathematics in answering questions such as, what caused the bloodshed? Where did the blood come from? How were the wounds inflicted? From what direction was the blood smeared or projected? What were the positions of the victim and the assailant? What movements were made after the bloodshed? Does it support or refute witness statements or suspects' confessions? BPA not only provides information on what could have happened, but also what could have not happened. The history of BPA. Edward Piotrowski is considered the earliest known person to study on blood spatters, 1895. In the case of State of Ohio versus Samuel Shepard, an affidavit concerning evidence of blood spatters was submitted to the court by Paul Kirk. He showed the position of the victim and assailant, as well as showing that the assailant struck the victim with his left hand. Dr. Herbert McDonald published concerning the flight characteristics of blood and stain patterns in 1971. He founded the IABPA in 1983, where BPA continues to grow and develop. Types of bloodstains. Bloodstain classification is very significant to investigators and analysts since it can yield information about the position before and after death, the type of force applied to cause the bloodstain, the direction from where the blood spatter came from, and the type of weapon used on the victim. Also, point of origin and directionality can be interpreted. Classification is done based on velocity of the blood and its shape. Based on velocity, bloodstains are classified into low-velocity stains, medium-velocity stains, high-velocity stains. Low-velocity bloodstains are caused by blood dripping. For example, nosebleed or blood dripping from a bludgeon knife. The force of the blood hitting the surface is 5 feet per second or less. The blood's diameter is large as 4 to 8 millimeters. Medium-velocity bloodstains are caused by beating with a blunt object like beating a person with a baseball bat. The force of the blood spatter is between 5 and 100 feet per second. The diameter of the blood spatter is smaller than that of low-velocity blood spatter. They even appear as a spray. High-velocity splatter is caused by mainly gunshots, It can also be caused by other objects if enough force is exerted. The force of the blood spatter is more than 100 feet per second. This causes the spatter to appear like a fine spray. The droplet is less than 1 millimeter in diameter. Passive stains are drops, flows, and pools formed by gravity. Transfer stains are blood stains created when a bloody object comes into contact with another surface. Projected stains are blood stains that occur when a force is applied to the source of the blood. Transfer stains are a result of direct contact between the target surface and the blood source. It can be in the form of smears or swipe, contact bleeding, smudge, wipes. Image: smear of a bloody hand and bloody shoe print. How it is done. BPA starts with first documentation of the blood stains. This is done with note-taking, sketches, photography, and sometimes videography is employed. Collection of articles that are transportable is done with standard guidelines and precautions, and BPA analysis is conducted in the lab on such blood-stained items. Bloodstains found on walls and other immovable items are documented, and the BPA procedure is conducted at the crime scene itself, and then observations are recorded and opinions are formed by the BPA analyst. BPA analysis is divided into two phases: physical examination and reconstruction. Physical examination involves identifying the stain pattern through its shape, size, and location, and thus determining cause for the formation of the pattern. Here, analysts need to be able to categorize the bloodstain, thus, therefore aid in determining the velocity at which the stain traveled and the amount of force acting on it, giving an interpretation to what mechanisms may have caused them. In the given image, interpretation that it is a cast-off spatter shows that blood could have been projected from a swinging or flinged object. Reconstruction involves methods that are used to answer certain questions such as distance between blood source and its impact, the locations of the culprit and victim relative to each other, the type of crime that occurred, where is the person bleeding from, did the bleeding come from the victim or the culprit, were there any other interventions? Analyzing blood stain patterns. The shape and size indicates the angle and velocity of impact. Distribution shows pattern and location on surfaces. Directionality shows the direction that the blood traveled. How blood stain pattern analysis works. Tools of the trade. Stringing methods are used to determine the point of origin. Chemical enhancements. Luminol is used to visualize and detect latent blood stains at crime scenes. It reacts with the iron in the hemoglobin and emits a blue light. Software. 3D modeling of bloodstain patterns. 3D techniques are increasingly being used by forensic scientists in crime reconstruction. Case study: Oscar Pistorius. Year: 2013. Location: South Africa. Details: bloodstain pattern analysis played a role in reconstructing the shooting of Riva Steenkamp. Outcome: It helped determine the sequence of events. BPA does not recreate incidents of the entire scenario of the crime that has taken place. It mainly supports findings of other forensic disciplines used in the case. For example, BPA may show that the statement made by the suspect about the victim's suicide act is false on interpreting a void pattern. In the given image, tests to see the void pattern formation is consistent with the one found in the crime scene. Instead, it showed that it was a homicide. However, it does not tell the age of the victim, whether the victim was under the influence of a drug or whether he was in a delusional state. Interesting facts. The sobriety of the victim will have no significant effect on how the bloodstain patterns are produced. High blood alcohol level is of no concern to the interpretation of bloodstain patterns. Conclusion: bloodstain pattern analysis is crucial for crime scene reconstruction. It provides valuable evidence that can solve cases.